Hello everyone. This is a video briefly explaining our first model in classifying images and videos. So our target here is to classify the videos into one of the three categories. So you have the cricket bowling videos, high jump and long videos. So our first model will be using convolutional neural networks, and we'll use it as our base model. So the method which we are following to do this is, first we'll take all the data from high jump, long jump and cricket bowling, and we will break it down into frames, each of the videos, and we'll label it as one of the three. Then after that we'll train our CNN model on that, and for doing the testing part we'll take the photos from here, and we'll try to predict what we have got. So that's the model. So the first part of this is to break down the videos into framed photos. For that we'll see our first code here. uh, so so that we are going to do this using the CV2 library. um, Here we are importing this library, and then we are seeing where our directory is currently. After that we are loading the data here. Mm, we are loading the long jump data here. Then we have taken out the high jump and long jump data. uh, the notebook file has changed. The disk last time we opened it. Do you want to overwrite the file? Yeah, so I just run the whole model, so I'll just show you what I've been going through. So now after that we'll load the cricket bowling data. Then after that we'll take the bowling data. Then we'll split it into train and test data. So zero point 0.7, that is 70% will be our train data. So here we have the train names. So this is the directory file of all the train data. We have the long jump, the cricket bowling and high jump. All of these are videos. Then after that similarly we'll do for the test part. See, these will be the our test videos. Then we'll now the next part is, we have to label the data. So for labeling the data we are going to split our names. These are our names, so we are going to split it based on the underscore here, and we'll take this value here, and that is the first one. So that will come as long jump, suppose, for the first one, and so on for the others. um, then after that once we have done this, we'll get all these labels for the videos. Say for this is the for the test video tag, and similarly for we got for the train video tag also. Next, so finally this is how our data looks, the train data. So we have the video names here and we have the tags. So after that we'll come here below. Okay, so and now in the next part, here what we are doing is, we are loading the data here, each and every file. Let's take only the first one. Let's assume for simple understanding. So we'll take one video, and then one of the videos. Then we'll capture it in CV2. After that we'll get the frame rate from here, and then after that for each frame we are going to capture we are going to capture the photo, and we are going to load it into frame. And if that is true, Then if that is true, then we'll continue with it. And these are the number of photos that we are going to take from each of the frame, each of the video. So now once we have got that, we are going to name it something like this. So that will have the frame name here, and then after that we'll increase the frame, and we are going to write the file. Okay, so that's how this thing works. Then after that we'll do the same thing for the test video also. And once we are done with this, we'll simply save it. So let me show you how the saved data looks over here. Mm, we have the data over here. So this is how the data looks. You have the cricket bowling photos over here. So this is one of the photo video, the video number, and this is the frame of that video. So we'll have many of these videos over here, and we'll have frames of each of these videos. So this is our cricket bowling one. These are the frames of all the videos which are of cricket bowling. Next, similarly, you have of the high jump over here. So these are of all the high jump videos. These are for the long jump videos. Likewise, you have for the validation data also. And now, okay, so since my laptop is on AMD graphic card, so this Jupyter, I can't download the TensorFlow in my laptop. So I'm using the Colab for this matter. So we have the data, and what we'll do is we'll put this data. Yeah. So we'll put this data into the drive. We'll mount it in the drive, and if you open the drive, we have our all data over here in data. We have the train data and the val data, and these are the files for all the videos and related directories, etc. So now we'll start with our modeling part. So we are importing all the libraries that's required over here, and then after that we are seeing our directory, and then after that we are using the image generator. So we'll use all the generator functions, because we want to directly use the data from the directory directory address itself instead of downloading it. So that's what we did over here. So we have the image generator over here, and based on the image generator we'll rescale it, and we'll share the application, and then after that we'll do some flipping also, horizontal flipping, and so that will basically make some of the photos to flip, and then after that we'll do the same thing for the generator also. So here we'll for the test video also. So this test is not there actually. We are directly using the validation generator here. So our target size is 256 into 256, and color mode is RGB, and the batch size is roughly what I decided was 15, because roughly each of the video is having around 15 frames in that. So that is giving me better accuracy, as I have found out. And then after that we have our model here. So most of the times I'm using ReLU activation function, because the ReLU activation function is giving better results, and some of the I was facing some of the overfitting, I assume. So that's why I'm doing some of the dropout also over here. So and the accuracy and the loss function which I'm using is a cross category entropy. So that is our, like, the regular logit function for category, and then after that optimizer is atom, and the metric will be accuracy. So I'm using 10 epochs, and the accuracy I'm getting on the fitted values is around 98%. That is surprisingly more, and most probably there is some overfitting also, and the evaluation of our validation data, that is 30% of our data, was around 0.52. Our accuracy was around 0.52 for this. So there is actually a dilemma over here which I was facing. So if I'm using any other model, I am still having some difference between evaluation data and our trained data. So there is some difference that is coming in the accuracy of train and evaluation. So that might also have to be related to maybe the type of data we have. We'll build on this more, and hopefully we'll be able to balance this and increase both the accuracies. Thank you.